The Gauls. They would rather lie slain in battle than lose the freedom gained by their forefathers. My legions march north. The nights grow long and the wolf grows hungry. Rome demands blood. I will be outnumbered. The valor of my men stretched to breaking. The enemy? Merciless. The Senate expects defeat. Yet the goddess Fortuna favors the bold. They must be divided, scattered, conquered. I will trade their blood for power. As I cross Transalpina, my course of action is clear. The Helvetii must be stopped before they can migrate into Greater Gaul. Their Sequani allies do not concern me, beset as they are by Suebi forces, although the Germans could become a serious threat if allowed to cross the Rhine en masse. By befriending us, tribes such as the Aedui have drawn the ire of their fellow Gauls. For their own safety, they will submit utterly to Roman protection, as did the Vocontii before them. I will seize our mutual enemies' territories and resources, for the good of Rome and her allies, of course. And by my hand, Gaul will be subdued.
From 125 BC, Rome began conquering the Mediterranean coast and the Rhone Valley. In 122 BC, the Romans founded the city of Aquae Sextiae, modern-day Aixen province. In 121 BC, the Romans established the province of Gallia Narbonensis, roughly modern-day Provence and Languedoc, with Narbo as its administrative center, founded shortly afterward, 118 BC. In 113 BC, the Germanic Cimbri and Teutons began invading what is now southern France and northern Italy. In 105 BC, these tribes defeated 2 Roman armies on the Rhone near Arausio, causing panic in Rome. It wasn't until 102 BC that the Roman general Gaius Marius defeated the Teutons at Aquae Sextiae. In 101 BC, Marius also triumphed over the Cimbri in northern Italy near Vercelli. Between 58 and 51 BC, Gaul as far as the Rhine was conquered by the Roman general Gaius Julius Caesar in a series of sometimes very bloody campaigns. The last major Gallic uprising under Vercingetorix in 52 BC was finally crushed at the Battle of Alesia. Caesar recounts this conflict, which was a war of aggression waged for domestic political reasons, in his work De Bello Gallico, the Gallic War. By its end, according to modern estimates, many millions of Gauls had perished. Gaul as a whole is divided into 3 parts. One is inhabited by the Belgi, another by the Aquitani, and the third by those who call themselves Celts, but are known in our language as Gauls. Book 1. War against the Helvetii and the Germanic tribe Ariovistus, 58 BC. Book 2. War against the Belgi, 57 BC. Book 3. War against the Veneti in the northwest and the Aquitani in the south, 57 to 56 BC. Book 4. War against the Germanic tribes, first crossing of the Rhine, first expedition to Britain, 55 BC. Book 5. War against Britain, Gallic revolt, 54 BC. Book 6. Gallic revolt, second crossing of the Rhine, digression on the Gauls and Germanic tribes, 53 BC. Book 7. Revolt of Vercingetorix, 52 BC. Book 8. The years 51 BC and 50 BC, by Aulus Hirtius. The German word Kaiser, emperor, and the Russian Tsar, derived from Gaius Julius Caesar, who rose to become dictator in the final phase of the Roman Republic, and whose the cognomen Caesar was adopted by his heir Augustus and his successors. Through the support of the Optimates, Pompey received Hispania to provide a counterweight to Caesar's province of Gaul. Caesar's greatest problem, however, was the threat from his opponents to sue him privately upon his return to Rome. He therefore sought special permission to run for a new government office in absentia before the end of his term, thereby extending his immunity. Confident in Pompey's power, the senators rejected the request. Anticipating a negative response, Caesar had already prepared for civil war and raised additional troops in his province. After his final compromise proposal was rejected by Pompey's supporters, he crossed the Rubicon, the border between his province and Italy. In early 49 BC, the consuls and the Senate declared him an enemy of the state by proclaiming a state of emergency, senatus consultum ultimum, but his advance forced them to abandon the capital, and they fled under Pompey's leadership across the Adriatic Sea to Epirus. In the ensuing civil war, Pompey was defeated by Caesar at Pharsalus in Thessaly in 48 BC, and soon after murdered in Egypt. After a brief military interlude in support of Cleopatra in Egypt, Caesar waged further battles against the Pompeians, whom he decisively defeated at Thapsus in North Africa, following Cato's suicide in 46 BC, and at Munda in Spain, 45 BC. Thereafter, he was the de facto sole ruler of the Roman Empire and filled state offices at will. For him, the republican form of government, which he considered nothing, a mere name without body or form, had no future. Despite his increasingly dictatorial policies, a conspiracy led by Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus arose against the ever more dictatorial ruler, and Caesar was assassinated on March 15, 44 BC, the Ides of March. Cicero succeeded in bringing Caesar's great-nephew and principal heir, Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus, into a military coalition that defeated Marcus Antonius in the Mutinician War in April 43 BC. When the Senate subsequently abandoned Octavian, he formed the Second Triumvirate with his former opponent Antony and Marcus Aemilius Lepidus in early November 43 BC. Having defeated all his opponents, Octavian orchestrated the transfer of republican powers to himself, thus establishing the Principate, 27 BC. He received the honorary title Augustus and became the progenitor of the Roman Empire. The illusion of a republican form of government persisted, and Augustus and his successors formally ruled by virtue of exceptional powers. But from then on, true power lay in the hands of the princeps, the first among equals, who was in reality an autocrat. His successor was Nero,